we're going to do today is go and have a look at some tiling, outside tiling of concrete steps. Had a call saying can I come and have a look, sort it all out for them. So let's go, see what we've got. Right, we're here. This is what I'm looking at. So these steps down to this landing, and then at the bottom here, from about there all the way across is going to be a decking, wooden decking. But these steps, that landing and those steps are going to be tiled. So the first thing to do is the prep. So we need, it's already been pressure washed a bit, but certainly all of this needs to go, and see if this stays where it is or if it's loose. If it's loose, it's got to come up. And then what we're going to do is just shutter off across here and here and here, and make everything level and this height, which should have been done by the original builders, but they didn't. Wire brush, clean it all down, sweep it off, make sure there's no, you can see this green here, anything green like that, anything green, get rid of till it's grey like that. And that's the first part of the prep. Cleaning is the most important part. What we're going to do now, we're going to put the form in there, across there and across there, build it up, because we want this to go off between now and tomorrow. So what we need is some timber for the forms. Right, we're going to use these as forms on here. So this one can go straight across. 900. Okay, so the easiest way to fix these is going to be screwing into the step, because we're going to tile these anyway. That's fine. Where we screw in here, through the piece into the render, we'll make good with the sand and cement once it's out. It's going to be painted anyway, so that'll look fine. So what I'm going to do is take, this is the back piece that goes over there. So if you, even just by looking at it, you can tell that this end is higher. So we'll fix this end first, put a spirit level on it, and that'll give us a level that we want all the way across, and that'll make that step level, not how they've left it. So this is our back piece. quite important that this is level because it gives us the level for the front and the side pieces. I'm happy with that. I've used mesh tape to cover the holes. I've used that because it's made of plastic and doesn't react to anything, so it won't react to the concrete. Now what I'm going to do is primer it. This is already pre-mixed, I had left. But it's exactly the same primer I'm going to use for the tiles, so I'll talk you through that when I do the tiles, but it's the same one. That's the hardest bit done. All we need to do now is mix our sand and cement to the right consistency, and that's that. Right, so the guy said, oh, I'll go to the shop, get you some sand for this. So they get two bags of sand. Now, bags of sand here normally, constructors is 35 kilos a bag, so I wanted 70 kilos. Right, that should be okay. Let it go off overnight, take the forms off and see how we did. Right, okay, so that's our step. Just with your hand you can rub the edges down. Yeah, that's it. So I've just filled in a couple of spots there, which I'll, when that dries off a bit more, I'll make it look like this render, so when it's painted you're very difficult to tell. I've done the same here. I've just put some more in here, and then this finish on the top is just brush. So just keep doing that and you'll come up with a rough finish. It's best for steps, but not only that, if you want to tile, then it keys in better with this, and this top is all going to be, it's all going to be tiled. So we'll get to doing the prep now of the surface. So all this kind of stuff, it's all got to be chipped off, rubbed down with a wire brush. Get rid of this if it's loose into the corners, because that's where it's going to be difficult to tile in. Flatten it all off, sweep it all away, and then we'll primer it. So I'll get on with the prep, because it wasn't correctly primed beforehand. Now the problem with that is, if you'd have just tiled over the top of that and water gets in, it'll come loose and you'll end up with loose tiles. Right, okay. All that's gone. All sweat. While I was waiting for the while I was waiting for the cement on the step to dry, I put a framework for a wooden deck in to level up that area. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is primer it, and this is the stuff you need. You can just use SBR primer from Screwfix in the UK, or it's just exactly the same thing, or if you can get hold of this, I think it's about €40. It's not cheap, but it will make anything stick to concrete. Now I mix it in with render, or when I did the step I mixed it in with the cement for the top step, so I don't need to prime that, but the rest of it we do. So I mix this 1 to 3, so 1 part SBR or Sika latex, it's the same stuff, and 3 parts water. So I've done that already, so just need to put it on, make sure it's covered. You can roller it, but I like to use a brush, especially if it's an uneven surface. So let's do that. Right, that's that done. Drying quite quick. I'll wait for that to all dry up. And then, yeah, we'll lay out the, or set out the tiles. So I brought the tiles up. They're about 35 by 35. What we want to do is pay attention to this bit here. That's the most noticeable bit and the largest part. If you look carefully, all the steps are wonky, so you'll never get anything straight there. And if you look down this wall, that's wonky. These steps, wonky. However, this wall's not too bad. So we'll use the wall as a rough guide, and see how it works out. Right. So we're going to need 3 tiles, and we'll put 1 full tile down the middle and then 2 cuts on either side. So this way, left to right, it's quite easy to work out. It's possible to put the grout line down the middle if you wanted, but then you get a smaller cut there, smaller cut there. I'm just going to put the tile straight down the middle. So we need a centre line from here all the way across there. So you can use a laser level, or you can do it with a, if you've got a long enough spirit level, or just a long straight piece of wood, and get a central line. And that central line is where you're going to run the middle of your tiles from front to back. But the way we're going to do this, unfortunately, I've got no access through, that doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to have to start at the bottom and work backwards, so that when I've finished I haven't tiled myself into a corner. But I think if I had the choice, I'd start at the top and work down. Anyway, right, let's work out the first part, which is a straight line on the top there, and then bring that straight line down here, give us the centre line of the tiles. Here, so That's it. So that's your centre line. So the best way to do this is draw a line on the ground once it's dried, and that's where the centre of your tiles will sit. So once you've drawn your line on the ground, you can start laying your tiles. Mark on the top centre. That's it. And then measure down 175, 172. So then we transfer that. Transfer that to the tile. So this is 175. 172. Lovely. You can just see the marks in place, nice even. We've got a little bit of a lip here, which is what we want because there's adhesive to go on here. So that's perfect. So now we need to just measure and cut. Now we need to measure and cut the two side pieces. Okay, so we're going to mix up the adhesive. Must be exterior, must be designed for tiling and natural stone. It's got to have fibre in so it resists rain, ice and heat. Yeah, read the instructions, but don't be tempted to get rapid set. This will go off overnight anyway, and you don't want to be racing against the clock, especially if it's the first time you've done it. But follow the instructions, mix it up in a bucket, and should be quite easy. Just do one bag because stopping and starting and mixing up takes ages, adds time onto your day, and to be fair, you're probably going to use more than this anyway for just even the smallest set of steps. Right, let's get mixing. Okay, so here we are. In fact, I'll show you from this side first. What I've done is just followed what we did before, go up the steps to the top, and then I've put one row all the way down, which is level with this wall on the right. Let that go off so I can stand on that tomorrow, and I can use it as a footpath down to the decking area, but also do the side cuts as well tomorrow. Right, it's the day after and it's freezing, but there we go, it's all dried up now. Yep, so we're just going to do the deck down there, a little deck area. So I've supported these on cement, concrete, both corners, to keep it off the ground, because all the water comes out of here and into there when it rains, and that's the grill, so that needs access. So what I'm going to do is, they're just temporary in at the moment. I've got some bigger screws for decking to secure those in, so I'll do those first, then cut the slats, space them out, and that should be that. What I've done here is that you can go along, cut the tiles now, because this is fixed, so we know the distances, they won't change. So what I'll do before I mix the adhesive up, we'll go down here, cut all of these all the way up to this step before we mix the adhesive, lay them all in place, then mix the adhesive and lay it all in one go. Just a bit quicker, right? Only took half an hour. We're all cut. Much easier to do it this way. So we'll have something to eat and then stick them down. Well, the sun's out now. Lovely. Here we go. Right, back the next day. What we're going to do now is clean any excess adhesive off, and then give it a sweep down, mix up the grout, and start grouting. Right, it's all cleaned down, so let's have a look.